Today on Let's Level Up, Munchkin X-Men. Hey gang, welcome back to Let's Level Up. My name is Rick, and today we're going to be talking about Munchkin X-Men. Now, this is actually designed by USAopoly in conjunction with Steve Jackson Games. I'm assuming due to some of the Disney versus Fox-owned intellectual properties over at Marvel. I'm guessing that's the reason why. I would assume that X-Men would just be an expansion to normal Munchkin Marvel. So I may be wrong about that, but if not, that's my reason behind it. So I think we can just go with that. Now, Munchkin X-Men is for mutants ages 10 and up and will play 3 to 4 players. Now, let's take this game to the table. I'm going to show you some of the door cards, show you some of the player abilities, and also show you some of the loot cards as well. All right, so here we have the box art for Munchkin X-Men. You see on the front we've got Cyclops, Jean, and Mr. Wolverine himself. Just like any other Munchkin game, this is for ages 10 and up for 3 to 4 players. Now, you can play with more people, but it tends to drag on, so you really want to have 4 with this one. It's really good. And since there are no expansions with this one yet, you may have less cards to pick from if you start getting into the higher players. So, one thing that's interesting about this one is it's actually produced by USAopoly. We've been seeing them quite a bit more in the tabletop, with existing properties within the tabletop industry lately, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and crack this guy open and look at some of the cards that come with Munchkin X-Men. So here are the contents of the box. And like most Munchkin games nowadays, you're actually going to have an identity that's going to have a couple different things. You're going to have a discipline, you'll have your sex of whatever your character is, and then you'll have a special ability along with tracking your character's level. So you can see here, this character you get an extra +2 when being helped or helping. Over here you get an extra +2 when combat alone. And nicely, you can have a nice counter here to track your level as you go up, so you don't have to worry about extra dice. Of course, we get the themed X-Men Munchkin die here. It's a standard D6, but the one has been replaced with a unique X-Men logo. We have our door cards and our loot cards there. So this is the entire contents of the box here. Let's take a look at some of the door cards and see some of the monsters we're going to be facing from the X-Men universe. All right, all of these cards here are all bad guys, are all monsters that are going to be behind the doors. Let me zoom in just a bit so we can see them in more detail. All right, level 1, we have Graydon Creed. We have Toad at level 1. Toad's bad stuff is Toxic Spit. You discard a random card from your hand, you get 1 treasure. Here lets you know how many levels you're going to be getting when you beat them. Boulevard Trask. Lose an ally or a power that you have is the bad stuff. We have Sentinel Mark 1. William Stryker. Sauron. I love Sauron in the All Savage Lands. Black Tom Cassidy. Another awesome one. A Sentinel Mark II. The Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai is interesting. It's +5 against anyone wearing armor and -2 against anyone with both hands equipped. If you lose, your bad stuff is you lose your armor. If you aren't wearing any, you lose a level. I thought that was pretty interesting. Of course, Pyro from the Brotherhood. He's another big guy there. He has +6 if there's an open flame in the room or a lighter on the table. Bad stuff is too hot to handle. Discard 3 cards from your hand. I thought that was interesting. Omega Red is a +4 against anyone who is not wearing the color red, and -1 to run away. Bad stuff is you lose the card giving you the biggest bonus. You get 2 treasures for beating Omega Red. Brood's another 2 treasure cards. Sentinel Mark 5. Mojo. Sebastian Shaw. Level 7, we have the Blob. The Blob says +3 if there's any candy or soda on the table. When he enters combat, +6 if both. So if you're having a typical game, not like we do, there's a lot of snacks generally floating around. Blob is going to be insanely difficult if you guys are supplying the right treats. Bad stuff, he sits on you. The next time you attempt to run away, you automatically fail. You get 2 treasures for beating the Blob. Mystique is another level 7. Mystique's special ability says, no one may help you this fight. +3 against males, -2 against females. Bad stuff with Mystique says, no one believes that it is really you. You cannot offer to help or ask for help in combat until you go up a level. Sabretooth, combat bonuses played on him are worth an extra +2. Bad stuff, he rips you apart, shreds you. You are dead. We have the Phalanx. We have the Juggernaut. Juggernaut says +10 when he enters combat via a wandering monster card. -1 to run away. Nothing stops the Juggernaut. You lose the armor you're wearing and a level if he beats you. You get 3 treasures for defeating him, though. Emma Frost, the White Queen, -3 against X-Men, +3 against females, +6 against anyone wearing a diamond or the color white. She really doesn't like people taking her style. Bad stuff. You reveal your hand, the player to your left, then chooses 2 cards to discard from it. You have Nimrod, level 12, Bastion, level 13, the Master Mold, level 14. Here we go. Mr. Sinister. Well, I really like Mr. Sinister. Hopefully he's in the next X-Men movie. That'd be awesome. He knows all your plans. Players may not use one-shots to aid their side in combat. Notice how it says their side in combat, so you can still aid Mr. Sinister with one-shots if needed. Go back in time and suffer the bad stuff of the top 2 monsters in the door discard. That could be really bad if Onslaught is in that discard pile. +5 against we have Strife. He gets +5 against X Factor, -3 against X Force. Bad stuff is you lose your affiliation and discard the items worth at least 500 gold pieces. Magneto, level 18, says +4 for each player in combat, with at least 500 gold pieces of items on them. Bad stuff. Lose all items worth 300 gold pieces or more. And finally, we have the Onslaught here. Onslaught is level 20. When he enters combat, lose an ally or power. That's when he enters combat. And he gains a bonus, and he gains it as his bonus. -5 against Professor X. Will not pursue anyone level 4 or below. Bad stuff. You lose 5 levels and discard 2 cards from your hand. Note that he's also worth 2 levels, and you get 5 treasures when Onslaught is defeated. Those are all the bad guys in the X-Men game. Note also the door cards have 2 X-Men affiliations, 2 X-Factor affiliations, and 2 X-Force affiliations in there. Along with 3 Wandering Monsters, 2 Team-Up cards, a bunch of modifiers to monsters, a cheat card. Really like the image they decided to use there. Very nicely done. You have an illusion. Play during any combat. Discard on any one monster in this combat along with any cards that have been played up to modify it. Replace this card with a monster card from your hand. And a lot of different trap cards. Now, traps are basically going to be your curse cards from the previous games. They can do all sorts of things. And we have some power bonuses. +1 to flight. Optic Blast, +1. +1 for telepathy. And +1 for heightened senses. And those are all the door cards in the game. Sorry, I had a couple more hidden away. Some more power cards. Healing Factor. Super Agility. Energy Blast. Telekinesis. Super Strength. Elemental Control. Teleportation. And Power Absorption. So now those are all the door cards. So your door deck is going to be this. Now we won't go through all of the loot cards here, but I did want to showcase some of the allies here. You get +3 with Wolverine, +1 for Cyclops, +1 for Beast, +2 for Cable. Jean's going to give you +2 as well. Angel's +1. Jubilee is +2, which I thought was very interesting. All of these guys also have some additional abilities there on the bottom of their card that you do it. So Professor X is +1, but it says you may discard 3 cards to force another player to help you in combat. He gets first pick of the treasure, and it cannot be for the winning level. You also have Storm, Iceman, Colossus, Havoc, and Kitty Pryde there, each with their own powers and unique abilities. I really like there's some of the unique items in this game as well. We'll showcase a couple of those. Psylocke's Psychic Knife, Psylocke's Katana, Bishop's Shotgun. We have Cable's arsenal of all those different guns that he's got. Wolverine's Adamantium Claws. I mean, what more do you need besides some Snikt in your life? Maybe Wolverine's Adamantium Skeleton? +3 bonus and +4 bonus there. You can be just like Wolverine with +7 if you get these 2 cards. Cyclops Visor, plus an extra +2 if you're an X-Men or you're wearing glasses. All right, and that's it for all of the loot cards. Let's get back to the game room, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts here on Munchkin X-Men. Well, that's it for Munchkin X-Men. This was an overview video to showcase some of what this game has in it. I really like X-Men. I think it's an awesome property within the Marvel Universe. I think as far as the comics go, they're some of the most groundbreaking work that there is. They've always tackled subjects that are a bit taboo, such as AIDS and civil rights and things like that. I mean, I really think that X-Men has pushed that envelope always since its inception. I wish this was part of the other Marvel set, but I get it. There are some legalities there we have to get behind on who owns what properties there within the universe. So that being said, this is a Munchkin game. It can be cross-spread between other Munchkin games. Assuming you can hide the card backs, it won't be that big of a deal to combine it with other sets. So I really like this game. I think Munchkin's an awesome game. I think you should check it out if you haven't already. If you don't own Marvel Munchkin, I would suggest getting that one first because there are some really cool expansions to that already that I really like. So, but if you don't and you really love the X-Men, this is definitely the thing to pick up. So, that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tell all your friends about Let's Level Up. And before next time, thank you and game on.